Welcome to Research Methods class for PhD students. I am Assistant Professor Dr. Dilek Latif, and I'll try to start with the course description. This course aims to introduce the students what is social research, what are the different types of research, and the research process. In assisting students how to decide on a research topic, it covers practical suggestions on how to carry out literature review and develop research questions. Academic rules, principles, and research ethics are also fundamentals of this teaching. And finally, it incorporates data analysis and effective report and thesis writing. So the learning outcomes of this lecture is to understand social research methods and research processes, learn academic rules, principles, and research ethics, learn how to identify a research topic, learn how to frame a particular topic into a researchable question or questions, carry out a literature review, improve ethical, critical thinking, rapid reading skills, develop effective report writing techniques and presentation skills, develop dissemination results, learn structure of a research project, and learn types of references. So we will start with, again, the aim of this course. What is social research? So what are different types of research, and the research processes is our first class. And we also focus on, as I said, the data collection and alternative research methods. So what is social research? Social research aims to introduce students various methods that we can use to study the social world and to gain new knowledge and understanding of it. So if you look at it in a more detailed way, as human beings, we are above all social beings, and we are in constant process of interpreting the world so we can make sense of it. And here is where research come in to fill the gap between the common sense of understanding the social world and the larger, more complex reality that can become apparent only with a more systematic approach that is based on scientific method. So among other things, social research must be ethical, irrespective of its other merits. Social research must above all be ethical. Research which is dishonest, endangers people, or violates people's rights is not a good research. Systematic, it should be systematic. Good social research must be carried out systematically. It means it must be logically organized and follow certain rules, procedures, steps that ensures the results have been collected, analyzed, and interpreted properly. It should also be objective. Social researchers always strive for objectivity so that their findings are credible, and it should be skeptical. So the research findings with skepticism and doubt, and exercise rigorous evaluations of research claims to ensure that they're indeed what they claim to be. Skepticism challenges social scientists to perform with rigor and high professional standards. Social research, like all other kinds of research, depends on collection of data and interpretation with the use of theory. Sometimes existing theories are used to provide explanations of the data collected. At other times, the data itself provides enough insight to build a new theory from the bottom up. So let's look at now types of research. There are two basic types of research. It's pure or basic research. We can call it applied research or action research as well. So as I covered, some social research known as pure research is carried out in order to help us to increase our knowledge or understanding of a particular issue, while other social research known as applied is carried out with the explicit intent of acquiring knowledge that can help us directly in addressing or solving a particular social issue or problem. Action research is a particular kind of applied research that emphasizes participation, reflection, and social change. So as I mentioned in the beginning, one of the objectives of this class is to teach students research design. So we are going to learn how to identify a research topic, how to frame a particular topic into a researchable question or questions, and how to carry out a literature review. So in this first video, I will try to cover the basics of this class, this lecture, and then on the following videos, I will give you more detailed information on some parts of it. So designing a research project means you need to go through several steps. First, the researcher needs to identify a research topic that he or she will investigate. Then the researcher needs to review the relevant literature in order to learn about the existing knowledge on the topic, but also in order to identify any gaps in the literature that provide an opportunity for new research. Once this is done, the researcher will begin to formulate more precise research questions and to decide on what methods of data collection to use to carry out the project. So we need two important skills at that point, which are critical thinking and rapid reading. So I have some very how to say that, little tips for you. Look at the title for rapid reading. Look at the title, look at the summary, look at the year, look at the subheadings. Read first and last sentences in paragraphs of each section. Read first and last paragraphs of the book chapters. That will give you an important insight about the content. Critical reading is another important skill we need when we do our research, when we start our research. Once students find a relevant source for literature review, they need to read the paper carefully and in a critical way. This means that they need to analyze and evaluate the rationale for the argument. Of course, research ethics, as I said in the beginning, is a very important element of a research project, and also research is very important, fundamental part of research methods. So an ethical research ensures that interests and concerns of those involved are considered. In other words, it shouldn't cause any harm or distress to anyone. The researchers must be honest, open, and critical about their research. And it should avoid research abuses that can be in various ways. So ethical considerations are required to avoid research abuses. Therefore, ethical guidelines in research are needed to guard against potential harmful effects of a research. So, list of what social research needs to keep in mind in order to be ethical are: don't use selective data, don't take common perceptions or assumptions without doubt, do not misrepresent the identity of the researcher or the aim of the research to gain information, don't break confidence, don't give rise to negative consequences for any of those being studied, don't cause stereotypes or negative reactions, don't give false representation of your research or of yourself, don't cause any distortion, try to provide the greatest accuracy, and don't hide evidence generated or analyzed. So we are going to talk about research ethics in another video in more detail, but as I said, this first video gives us a general picture. So the second important part of research methods that we are going to follow is effective report writing, presentation skills, and dissemination of results. So to develop effective report writing techniques and presentation skills and dissemination results through visual or sometimes written materials, depends on what type of research you do, are the learning objectives. So when you start preparing your report, write in a written way, there are few important ideas that I try to list for you. Know your audience. You need to know your audience. If you assume your readers know more than they actually do, you will leave them confused. If you underestimate your readers, you risk boring them with unnecessary details. Either risk increases the likelihood that what you have written will not be read, And whatever audience you choose, make sure that the selection before you begin to write, and keep your audience in mind every step of the way. Identify your purpose. The principal purpose of writing a report is to describe and convince. Write clearly. The foundation of good writing is clarity of thought and expression. So try to make your sentences short and easy to understand. Be concise. As I said, short words and short sentences are easier for readers to understand. Be precise. Being precise is choosing the right word for what you want to say, following grammatical rules, writing an interesting report. So, structure of a research project will be dealt with in another video. So I stop here to give you a more detailed explanation in the following videos. Thank you for watching.